comes back to the whole thing about the Nasdaq. This is the day after the glitch on the second largest U.S. stock exchange. The Nasdaq CEO basically said that it's facing a barrage of criticism, and it's no secret. But he's also defending the way that he has handled the 3-hour sort of crisis or outage. And we have CCTV's Shraysi Tandon, who has been on this story for the entire time. You've been following the response. Obviously, Wall Street very critical of what he's doing. What is Nasdaq saying?
Well, Phil, you know, Nasdaq did say that they are still investigating what is happening. They still relate the outage to their SIP, which is their Securities Information Processor. And they say that they're going to now look to see what processes they can put in place to prevent such outages from happening in the future. Now, let's talk about the aftermath from this Nasdaq outage that happened yesterday. In fact, the disruption led to the second fewest numbers of shares being changed on U.S. exchanges in the last 5 years. That's when we look at full-day trading. 4.4 billion shares changed hands yesterday, and that may seem like a really high number, but not when we put it into perspective. If we look at the chart there, we're seeing that that is in fact 30% below the 3-month average. Nasdaq is, of course, the U.S.'s second largest exchange operator. It is home to over 3,000 companies that are listed on the Nasdaq, and they trade over 37 countries worldwide. I spoke to some traders today, Phil, and they were saying that, you know, the markets that were affected, it was a minimal impact. But what's really affected here is the reputation of the Nasdaq and the reputation of CEO Robert Greifeld. Now, that reputation is still being scrutinized because, as we all remember, you were just talking about Facebook a little while ago. They botched Facebook's May 2012 IPO. Tens of millions of dollars of shares were misplaced. And the Nasdaq had to pay $10 million to settle that.
You know, but this brings up another good question: is it really fair to blame the CEO of the Nasdaq? I mean, clearly he's not in charge of making sure whatever software or technical issues are going to happen, but unfortunately he's the face man of the company itself. And that means that potentially, I'm guessing, that Washington, D.C. and the folks there, the regulators there, are going to look at this very carefully and say, hey, wait a minute. A glitch is fine. A glitch twice is fine, but if this were to happen to other exchanges, there's going to be some serious scrutiny that's going to take place here.
You're from D.C., so you are very well aware of what happens there. And as you know, all eyes are on Nasdaq today, as they were on yesterday. Washington, D.C. is closely watching it. In fact, President Obama was debriefed on this. I just want to pull up a quote from the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, Mary Jo White. The chairwoman, Mary Jo White, released a quote today saying that she's going to convene a meeting of the leaders of the exchanges and other major market participants to accelerate ongoing efforts to further strengthen the markets. Of course, the SEC would like this to be a foolproof situation. It's not going to be foolproof, but what she has assured the investors as well as the public is that they're going to scrutinize to ensure market integrity. Phil.
Shraysi, great to have you here. Thank you very much, and thank you for your coverage of